If you're looking to get away from last night's loss against Oklahoma, well, you have not found the right place. But I'm happy that you're here regardless. Welcome into Tennessee Football Talk. My name is Joey Petersen. 33-27 was the final score of last night's game. So many mistakes, so many head-scratching play calls, so many missed opportunities. And that's why even 24 hours later, a little bit less than that, I'm still incredibly frustrated. I woke up this morning honestly, feeling a little bit hungover. But it wasn't because of intake of alcohol. No, it was more because of intake of Tennessee football. It was more because it seems like the same things over and over and over. And every loss, we can just point to a couple of things and say, that's why. And it still isn't changing. It's coming up next. 4 things that I still cannot believe are happening to Tennessee football year 5 into Josh Heupel's coaching tenure. I'm going to break those down. We're going to discuss them. I'm going to vent on today's show, but I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that you stay. To make sure you stay, subscribe to the channel. 330 subs away from 9,000. That would be our biggest milestone yet. Give me something to be excited about. Give me something to be happy about. And in return, I'll give you daily coverage of the Tennessee Volunteers right here on Tennessee Football Talk. It's free to do so. We're 330 subs away from 9,000 total. We've been growing like crazy. Only been a channel for 3 months? So help us out. Help us keep growing and subscribe. Number 1, how does this keep happening? Not being able to make the play late. If this is your first time here, this is your first time hearing me talk about this. But if you've been here before, you have heard me talk about this a ton. I say it pretty much almost every single one of my previews, especially against really good teams. You got to be able to make the play late. Because in those situations, when rosters are very similar, when talent is very similar, you know those are going to be close games. But a lot of times, the teams that are able to win them are the teams that are able to make plays late in halves. And that middle eight, like we call it. You couldn't do this against Georgia. You couldn't make that 4th down stop. You couldn't make the kick. You couldn't do this against Alabama. You couldn't close out that first half, get a touchdown. Instead, they got a pick 6, took it the other way. You couldn't have your offense come alive and take advantage of turnovers in that second half. You yourself on defense couldn't get stops in the second half. You did it against Mississippi State, though. That's what I hear a lot of people tell me. Joey, they made the play late against the Bulldogs. You scored in overtime. You drove down the field to put it in overtime. You did it against Arkansas. Joey, they cut that game close. You got a couple of first downs late. You made that play. You ran that clock out. Guys, I don't care about beating Arkansas and beating Mississippi State. If you are proud of this program, of Tennessee clutching up against the Bulldogs and against the Hogs, 2 teams that haven't won an SEC conference game this year. Oh, wait, Mississippi State did yesterday for the first time against Arkansas. Then you've got big problems. Then we've got big problems. Because if we're judging the success of the Tennessee Volunteers against teams that are bottom feeders in the SEC, then frankly, what are we doing? That's not how this team should be judged. This team has a higher ceiling than that. This team should be able to compete with the Alabamas, the Oklahomas, the Georgias. And screw that. Not compete. You should be able to beat them. You should be able to beat Oklahoma at night, at home. 2.5-point favorite. It's just frustrating. You're not able to make those plays late against those big teams, and it happens every single time you play them. I don't care about beating Mississippi State and Arkansas. I frankly don't even think those games should be close in the first place. Are you happy it's bye week? Because I frankly am. If you are, hit that thumbs up button, like today's video, because I could not imagine in 6 days having to watch Tennessee football again. I'm glad I get a little bit of time off. We get 13 days to the next game and really 20 days to the next big game on the road against Florida. Okay? So that's the first thing that I'm wondering. How does this keep happening? The second thing that we're going to talk about is the fact that you keep shooting yourself in these big and massive and this might coincide with not being able to make the play late. This might be one and the same. But this one feels different because it's not like the offense is just stopping you, or the defense, excuse me. It's you're just stopping yourself. This is just it is a constant in Tennessee football. Shooting yourselves in the foot in these big moments, in these big games, in these big situations. Against Georgia, 2 big turnovers, right? Against Alabama, you had the pick 6 at the half. Against Oklahoma, you had the scoop and score. You had the 2 horrible interceptions. One of them, you're about to get a touchdown. The other one, it led to a late field goal right before the half. They got an extra 3 points that nobody ever thought they should have got. Okay? It feels like this team hasn't learned to win. And that's frustrating because it's year 5. It is year 5 for Josh Heupel. This is something that feels like a little bit of a reflection from the top down. A lot of times when a coach is new at a program, they lose games like that. And I said this last night, I'm going to say it again. They lose games like that, and you think, you know what? We're really close to competing with the top dogs in the SEC. We are so close. We got the right guy. It's year 1, and you're already almost beating Oklahoma. It's year 5, guys. It's year 5. And that's still happening. I don't know what to do. What would you do to fix this? Okay, I want you to answer this question. If you were Danny White, if you were Josh Heupel, what would you do to fix this problem? Shooting yourselves in the foot. Let me know in the comment section down below. The lack of complementary football, it just keeps on happening. Every single week, it seems. We're either getting the most elite offense in the country and the worst defense in the country, or like last night in the first half, we had the best defense we've seen since 2024, but the offense was not finishing drives. And it makes me kind of question. I go back throughout the years, and it's like, has this team ever played complementary football? Last year they didn't. Unbelievable defense. Horrible offense. 2023 they didn't. Kind of middle of the pack in both. I'd say the defense was probably a little bit better than the offense in 2023. Maybe 2022 was the last time, but there still were a lot of really big question marks with that defense. You still gave up 49 to Alabama. You gave up 60 to South Carolina. And you're here in this game. First half happens. Your defense holds John Mateer to like one of the worst halves he's had in football this year. They've scored 16 points, but 7 of those are from scoop and score. 2 of those field goals are off of interceptions. So 13 of those points are because of offensive mistakes. And then this is the perfect picture of a lack of complementary football. Your defense finally gets a turnover, a massive fumble, and you can't even get a first down. I'm speechless. It's been a problem all season long. And finally, when you get a good effort from your defense, you can't do anything with it. Well, I got something you guys can do something really good with, and it is purchase this for only $30. Chatsports.com/UTQZip. That is the link, and that is the product, and that is the price. $30. It was $50. They dropped it down $20. Look, my wife was in Knoxville, Tennessee last night for the game. Poor girl. I know. I get it. But she went to the Vol shop before because she was thinking about getting me something for Christmas. And she ended up not getting me something for Christmas because we have something called a budget. And the Vol shop does not like to work within the constraints of a budget. But this does. Chatsports.com/UTQZip. It's cheap. It looks great. It feels great. It's getting colder by the day. It's, nice and thick. It's soft. It's a great quarter zip, and you should take advantage of it by going to chatsports.com/UTQZip. I put that link in the comments and description of today's video. The missed field goals. That keeps on happening. And Adam Sparks, funny enough, put out the stat that Max Gilbert leads Tennessee in all-time field goal percentage, which is just, it's perfect timing. But that also shows you perfectly that stats don't always replicate play on the field. If you make 2 kicks this season, we're 8-1. And I know it doesn't all boil down to that. I know that's unfair. And I know there are so many other problems with this team that that's not the only thing. But if he makes that kick against Georgia, you win that ball. He makes that kick in the first half last night. That touchdown you scored late, that's a touchdown to take the lead. That's that. You're 8-1. Instead, you're 6-3, and Max Gilbert ought to have a statue outside of Elon Stadium where he's just surrender Cobra. It's just a lack of consistency everywhere. With the offensive line, quarterback play, and I love Joey Aguilar. The wide receivers, maybe the most consistent thing this season. Defense, special teams. There's no consistency anywhere in this football team. And that's the reason you're 6-3. And that's the reason your best win in 2025, without a shadow of a doubt, is on the road against Mississippi State. Alrighty. Maybe more positivity tomorrow. I'm not sure. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I'm on all 3 of those platforms. And if you're not subscribed yet to the channel, what are you doing? It's 12 minutes and you're still watching. It's obviously like what we do, and we do it daily. So subscribe and join us today.